All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get airborne with our Analyze Your Trade and Debrief. It is 1 o'clock on the East Coast of these United States. I think, what's today, the longest day of the year or something like that? Down here in God's Waiting Room in Boca Raton, Thursday, June 21st. This is a regularly scheduled member brief here at Top Gun Options. So if you're new, welcome aboard, because I know a bunch of our strategic partners have been emailing for us lately to their folks saying, hey, go check out what's going on over at Top Gun Options. So welcome aboard to all of the potential new folks. I'm going to conduct this brief as usual. If you guys are new, you're just going to be kind of eavesdropping on what we do here, and maybe at the end I'll tell you how to get a 2-week test flight. But we've been having an absolute blast here at Top Gun Options for my members. Make sure you're getting in the ready room and interacting with each other. We're going to do our first full throttle training session tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. We're going to go through our trade plan, our strategic, operational, and tactical mindset, and maybe a little sector targeting brief. So Thursday night, that's tonight at 7 p.m. And then we'll, since I had to meet those hedge fund guys last night, we'll do our second full throttle training session tomorrow at Friday. So obviously this is for members only. If you want to join and get our academic training, which kicks off tonight at 7, you can go ahead and sign up at the end of the webinar. Tonight, tomorrow will be basic calls, basic of options, calls, puts, moneyness, volatility, all that good stuff. So if you're a potential new member here at Top Gun Options, it's perfect timing, because we're starting we do 8 training sessions about 4 times a year, going from, basic aerodynamics, so to speak, all the way up to how to dogfight the airplane. You got it. There's always replays. Everything's recorded and posted for all of our members. And once you become a member, folks, you get access to this training every time I do it, as long as you're still a member in good standing. Final call for our Boca Trader Conference. I think we got just about everybody who's going to come on June 30th. Going to be a good time down here in Boca Raton, Florida. I think all the VIPs are sold out for the cocktail party afterwards. So if you're a straggler and you haven't gotten on board yet, I think it might be too late, to be honest with you. But we've given you all a lot of heads up on this, and I'm really looking forward to that event, like I said. And then got a couple inquiries about lifetime membership. I think I did grandfather this year for $15K. I think I was saying 17 and a half, so I will honor what I said. I need to I'm just a piano player in the bar here. I'm not the manager. I should listen to the better half, Susie there. So and we should be good to go. Okay, real quick, for the new folks, if this is the first time you're hearing my voice, have no idea who I am or how you ended up in this webinar, let me help you out. My name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Used to fly the Hornet, the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know is Top Gun. And I was also a bad guy. I was an adversary pilot. I got to do some cool stuff when I was on active duty in my deployments to the Arabian Gulf. We don't call it the Persian Gulf because Iran calls it Persia. They think they own it. We call it the Arabian Gulf. Got to fly with the Blues. Got to be an LSO, a landing signal officer. That fine gentleman on the right with that squared haircut is me. And that's me flying over. That's actually Kuwait underneath the nose, and Iraq is behind me, and Iran's over there out to the to the east. Really, it really does look like a lake. Was always interested in finance. Obviously, you don't join the military to get rich, so I was always interested in finance. My dad used to, explain the tickers in the newspaper, and how if I went to McDonald's that day and got a Happy Meal, if I owned the stock, maybe the stock price would go up and I could potentially make money. So I applied everything I was learning flying a fighter jet, having a strategy, implementing tactics, contingency planning, asking what could go wrong during a mission. That I should think through now, sitting in the air conditioning, sipping on my Diet Coke instead of freaking out when it goes wrong. Having a predetermined, here's where I'm going to get out of a bad situation or a good situation before I ever get into them. And if you just take combat and replace trading with it, it works perfectly, because trading is a form of combat. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to lose. So this type of mentality I popped up on the radar of one of the largest volatility arbitrage firms in the world. You see these big, beautiful windows here. That's the Chicago Board of Trade, and I got picked up by a company called Peak Six Investments. Like I said, one of the largest vol arb firms in the world, and had an absolute blast when I was there. Helped build a hedge fund, helped build the retail brokerage options house, and then I always jokingly say I felt like Valentine in Trading Places, man. That two rich white people were betting $1 of me. It was fun though. Got to be honest with you, I'm not a Chicago guy. I love the people, but I'm a beach guy. As I got towards the end of my tour up there at Peak Six, I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV, and I actually hosted about 3 of the shows. Of course, my favorite show to host at the Options News Network was the Options Cocktail. Every Friday after the market closed, we'd go to a different trader bar in Chicago and have some frosty adult beverages and let traders go and talk about that week and the week ahead. So had an absolute blast, but decided that, like I said, Chicago weather is best left for people other than me, and moved the squadron down here to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton, about in 2010. So anyway, so that's my quick background. Just wanted to give the folks who are new an intro to who I am, and we'll get airborne and talk about what we do here at Top Gun Options. Real quick, if you are new, this might seem Greek to you, but let me throw all this on the screen and do me a favor and just take a screenshot of that. There's like a little camera icon on your screen that you're viewing that on. This is where we're targeting out to January of 2020. When you're using equity options and equity options that are called LEAPs, longer dated options, we're bullish on all these out to Jan 20, and then we trade the front months in them. For example, Amazon, we closed a 2-day trade this week on Amazon for $2,000, unlimited risk. I'll show you that one in a little bit. But we also have a January 2020 trade on with Amazon. ExxonMobil's our energy play. We'll talk about the OPEC meeting tomorrow on Saturday. We have a SIN stock with Win, good defense stock in Raytheon. Finance, we're taking a break from the blue blood banks, and we're focusing more on like a Visa. Transportation is CSX. And then we have what I call a Captain Kirk trade on. FXI, which is China. Got hammered. We might even be targeting into that one. 1 second. Let me take a look at FXI. I haven't looked at it today. So FXI is the iShares large cap China ETF. So got hammered, big gap down on the trade war recently, down another 2% today. Not yet. I don't think I'm going to bottom feed yet in FXI. I mean, it broke that 45 level with some airspeed. So China ain't going out of business, folks, and the adults are talking. So we will resolve something. Yeah, we're back here in December lows. So interesting. Let's keep that on our radar, folks. The FXI. So these are our sectors that we target, and we only tend to trade front month spreads in these names. It makes no sense. I have some new members who I have 33 positions on. I'm like, are you smoking crack? 30? I can't even keep. 20 for a professional trader. 15 to 20 positions is sporty if you do it full time. If you're a retail trader, you need to have 5 to a maximum of 10. So trade these out to Jan 20 and then trade these in the front months, and that gives you a full plate. You really should know what you're trading like the back of your hand. If you're just waking up and watching Comedy Central, what we call CNBC, and just throwing on a trade because some dude in a nice suit and good hair talked about it during your lunch break, that's ridiculous. So don't do that. But we're going to talk about this again tonight in our full throttle training at 7. And this is, like I said, we have a lot of good stuff going on here at Top Gun Options. But I'm going to press forward as if we're in a regular brief with my members, because we are. If you're getting the eavesdrop right now, I'll tell you at the end how you can jump in and do a 2-week test flight with what we do here at Top Gun Options. What we start with in every live trade brief is what I call a strategic brief. Okay, it's called SOT. Okay, and I put it in a little triangle here. Strategic, operational, tactical. So I'm going to tell you what's going on around the world, geopolitically, militarily, oil, all that stuff. So we do a strategic brief that's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes. Then I peel back the onion and I get operational. What's going on here in the States? What did Jerome Powell, our Fed head, have to say yesterday at a central bank meeting? How are earnings looking? Chicago PMI, the Philly Fed today. We take a look at the operational stuff going on in the States, and then and only then will we get tactical and look at trades or place new trades. It's called SOT. Okay, strategic, operational, tactical. So pretend you're kind of an admiral or a general sitting there and get ready for your brief. Okay, so here we go. China quietly approaches U.S. to de-escalate the trade war. Unless you've been under a rock or on the other side of Mars for the past, when was the first broadside? That was in March. You see these market freakouts in the S&P 500? This is the first shots in a trade war by Trump and the Chinese answers. So as I've predicted, these oscillations in the market are, oh my God, we're all going to die in a trade war. No, we're not. Yes, we are. No, we're not. Oh, maybe. The market is getting inoculated to this. The market knows that the adults are eventually going to come to some sort of agreement. And since we're on the really, really bad end of this, it can only get better. So I like this headline. China quietly approaches U.S. to de-escalate the trade war. Why are they doing it quietly? Because they know how this is playing at home, man. They have to, in front of the cameras, go good cop, bad cop. The U.S. is doing this. Well, we're firing it back. Well, in a tit-for-tat trade war, China's running out of ammo because they're on the winning side of this. You know, when you're on the losing side of a negotiation, it can only get better for you, right? So there's only one place we can go, and that's up. So the White House is confident it has an edge over China in trade dispute. Right? Behind the new tariff threats is a belief that we have the upper hand in talks, and I absolutely believe that. So this freak out the other day, did the market forget about this one, this one? So I always love reading the headlines that say, market pulls back on renewed trade war fears. What, renewed? They never stopped. They never went away. For this entire time period right here, I was playing Where's Waldo with Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, and also Larry Kudlow. You guys, if you watch CNBC, you've seen Larry Kudlow. Where have they been? Well, they've been kind of behind the scenes trying to be the adults. So, Harry, that's exactly right. I mean, the president, love or hate the guy, I don't know how don't even get me started on the immigrant. I'm furious that the president signed that executive order. I was furious when Barack Hussein Obama would wave a pen and magically go around the Senate and the House. That's not our process, folks. Furious with the president. It's illegal what he did yesterday, and one of the reasons I voted for the guy so he would stop. I know Larry Kudlow had a heart attack. That was right about here. That was 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. So during all these negotiations, though, remember Larry Kudlow actually in one day, I think it was right here, Larry Kudlow came out on the White House lawn once in the morning and I think like once in the afternoon to be like the market whisperer to everybody just remain calm. We'll figure something out. But here's another funny headline. This is from Monday. Markets begin to take threat of trade war seriously. Ladies and gentlemen, not one company in the United States, China, or one dude or lady has paid 1 red cent in anything. This is all talk. Okay, so the market's moving on emotions. Obviously, the market and stocks can move on emotions. But right now, folks, there hasn't been any impact to anybody's bottom line, period. Yeah, you get a Boeing or some of the steel companies or stuff like that move around, but no money or tariffs have actually been formally levied, right? If you read the small print in any one of these blasts, what's it say? It's 6 months from now, right? So there's always wiggle room in this stuff, folks. So I'll keep an eye on this. As you guys know, we do our 4 live trade briefs a week, and it really does seem like a half a day is a lifetime in this market, whether it's Twitter or just news in general. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There's just so much going on in this market, but we love it. Remember, as options traders, we can potentially make money no matter if the market's going up, down, or sideways. I love these violent swings. I mean, as an American, God bless America. I went everybody's 401k to go up and blah, blah, blah. But when I put my Gordon Gekko suit on, I don't care. If this thing decides to go to zero, I'm going to pound the hell out of it into the dirt and print money while everybody else is crying. So, no offense, but that's my job as a portfolio manager. Okay. The closest alligator to my boat for the next couple days is OPEC. So there's a huge OPEC meeting. It kicks off tomorrow, and it ends Saturday. Saudi Arabia came out of the gates early and said, hey, here's our 1 million barrels a day boost. Plan to do what? Tame prices, so maybe bring prices in. Countries like Iran are going nuts. They don't want prices to come in. They want stuff to stay high. The other unknown in this is Putin. Vladimir Putin, his little lackey, Alexander Novak, has said they are willing to ease up on a production cut the two countries orchestrated in 2016. So Russia is the elephant in the room. And it's funny that Iran and Russia are bedfellows in a lot of areas, but when it comes to oil, all interest is self-interest, right? Iran oil minister, I haven't agreed to anything. Iran has said it won't support any boost in production, but has indicated it's willing to compromise. They're on the losing end of the stick, folks, so they really don't have too much negotiating power. And guess what? In about, 4 more months now, the Iranian sanctions are going to be kicking back in, and they're screwed. Iranian shipping is already getting hit. Iran's already starting to take it on the chin. So we'll talk about our XLE trade. We have a trade on XLE, which is the Select Spider Energy something. So we have an iron condor going on it, 75, 74 and a half. And then we have a 76, 76 and a half. Obviously, the bull put spread's a hold for now because the meeting hasn't even started. This is just selling off a little on what Saudi Arabia said before. So a day in this trade is a long time. So let's go ahead and keep brief, and then we'll get tactical and look at trades. Here's the other reason we're kind of wallowing around today to the downside. The SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, did what? They ruled states can require online merchants to collect sales tax. I love this. I hate it, first of all. I hate any sort of tax. Ohio wants to tax. Folks, I live in Florida, man. I think the value of my house just literally went up again. First of all, because of Trump's tax, all the limousine liberal states of Jersey, New York, everybody, the housing in South Florida is going through the roof. All these hedge funds in Connecticut and New York are all closing and moving down here to Florida. There is no state sales tax. I don't agree with this, but I get it. It was a 5-4 decision, so it's not like this was 8-0, or I'm sorry, 9-0, whatever it is. This is bad. Okay, but look at this is our Death Star trade. Like I said, Amazon's down $14 today, maybe close to 1%. That's nothing. Absolutely nothing. This is this is nothing. This is a blip. This has been priced in my opinion. This isn't shocking. This isn't news. This was expected. But 5-4 vote is not good. Or income tax. You're right. Sorry, Dennis. I had that reversed. So the Dow and the S&P are kind of slipping as trade tensions linger. Some investors believe these periodic blowups will become more common. Let me get a show of hands. The VIX is up again today. So if you didn't get out of your long VIX calls the other day with this pop, if you're still in some long VIX calls that we talked about last week, get out of them because we're up 12% now. If anything, I'd be getting bearish on volatility right here. So I don't know if Kevin. I don't know if UPS is going to. If FedEx had good numbers yesterday, that Fred Smith on the conference call warned a little bit about China might take it on the chin if we get into some sort of trade war. But the transports are looking pretty good. I don't think UPS. I don't think if they do strike, it's going to go on that long. But folks, if you're in long VIX calls and they're showing some profit, get out of them. Okay, close them right now for a nice profit. I think a bunch of folks are saying that they were up 30% as, what was that, Tuesday was our market part? Yeah, so this pop and then this pop. So, and what did I say? As soon as it pops, you get out. You get out of them and you get bearish on volatility. Okay, let's take a look at some of the numbers that came out today. Let's see. Like I said, oh yeah, the Philly Fed. Look at that. The Philly Fed imploded. The Philly Fed Manufacturing Index imploded. Weekly unemployment claims were in line. HPI, a little down. Conference boards. This is also why the market's down a little bit. Folks, this is a big report. This is the conference board's leading index. Let me click on this. I always go right down to this, right? It's a combined reading of 10 economic indicators: housing, new orders, employment. Also, this is a hodgepodge of how things are looking. It was a miss. We had 0.4 last time, 0.4 forecasted. We got 0.2. So this is we're kind of wallowing around on the market here. Friday, like I said, we get an OPEC meeting started. We'll get some manufacturing and services PMIs, but nothing really market moving for us. Okay, let's get tactical, guys. Goldman Sachs, the old Death Star that I blew up. Weak stock market returns are ahead, even with booming earnings. Now I'm going to take some time to read this again because I predicted this, guys. I love when Goldman Sachs or the Wall Street Journal comes out and says what we said months ago. What did I say months ago? Essentially this headline: the bull market's next test, slower earnings growth. Exactly, Rick. We talked about this in yesterday's accelerated retirement brief. Folks, this is when I knew we were in trouble. I can literally point to the day. I remember pre-market seeing JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Never in the history of JP Morgan, since JP Morgan was alive, did these earnings, folks, were disgustingly good. I've been doing this for a quarter of a century. I have never seen earnings this good my entire life. What did the market do? Right here, it rebounded on Facebook printing money. Imploded. Apple did really good. Folks, this earnings rally is right here. There was your Q1 earnings rally. It was pulled forward. Remember the beginning of the year, folks? Oh my God, you couldn't swing a dead cat in January without Trump or a company saying, hey, we're giving $1,000, $2,000 back to our employees. We're hiring more people. We're building this. We're buying back stock. That rip your face off rally was supposed to be all this stuff, and it wasn't. When the market shrugs its shoulders on record earnings, even if we blow the doors off of it, this quarter's earnings, I think the market's going to shrug, folks. This is a tough climb schedule right here. That was just stupid. So Goldman Sachs is coming out with this prediction that even if we have booming earnings, we might not see them. It might be a sell on the news, to be honest with you. Wall Street Journal last week, slower earnings growth. Corporate earnings expanded 25% in the first quarter. A new high and possible peak. Isn't it? Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? It can be frustrating as a retail trader to hear all this great news and jump into this thing and see it like this. That's because you're not here at TGO and not getting all the intel. So, thanks, Rick. Yeah, I'm convinced of this. I hear it on my conference calls and the hedge fund guys I was out with last night. Everybody's talking like this. This is most likely going to be a sell on the news. We had disgusting earnings and the market shrugged. If we have disgusting earnings again, I think the market's going to shrug. So, okay. I'm going to focus a little bit, like I said, on the Death Star. What a great stock. This is not a FANG, folks. Amazon is not a FANG. It is not a technology company. It uses tech, right? Let me pull up Amazon here. What is it? It's in the services sector, and it's retail. It ain't a tech stock, folks. You're mislabeling your FANGs if you call that a tech stock. We have been printing money. I hate when people say that, but we've been doing it. In October, right here, I said get out of Facebook and get out of Apple. And Twitter, by the way. Not that we traded Twitter. Twitter's just a limousine liberal, awful company that censors speech. One of their former employees sued them recently, and a judge ruled that they can be sued for falsely advertising. They allow free speech. They don't. I'm a conservative. They censor my tweets. You do not want to invest in limousine liberal companies that do this type of ridiculousness. You know what? We're going to open up our stores and make them the world's largest restroom and needle exchanges. Well, guess what happened, Starbucks? They're closing stores. They've had these are their words. I love how Howard Schultz ruins the company again 2 weeks ago, and then, all right, goodbye. Here's your shit sandwich. Even Jim Cramer interviewed the current CEO yesterday on CNBC. He was ripping the guy apart. I haven't seen Cramer with a bug up his ass in a long time. And $7 coffee. It's over with, folks. What I'm saying is these limousine liberal companies that censor speech, Google with YouTube, Facebook, don't even get me started on Facebook, man. It's just, and Mark Zuckerberg, stay out of these, man. The only exposure that Amazon had to the political fight was what? Right here. This is where Donald Trump drunk tweeted. Actually, the guy doesn't drink, so he didn't drunk tweet. But you guys ever remember him going after, it's a monopoly, and they're destroying the post office, and the Washington Post should register a lot. I think Amazon has been inoculated to this. Trump did his drive-by, shot a bunch of bullets at Jeff Bezos, and Amazon has shrugged. Can he come out again and drunk test and do all sorts of stuff? Text? Sure he can. I don't think it's going to happen. Awesome, Rick. Yeah. We Kevin, that's where I'm going. We're going to do a longer term bull put spread. But here's, for our new folks, take a look at what we did this week with Amazon. You ready? So every Monday at 1 o'clock, I do a live trade brief. It's about 30 minutes. It's a weekly options brief. Weekly options are very, very tactical. See, we put these on Monday for a Friday expiration. We got out of it Wednesday, morning? I sent out a text or something like that. This trade made, when I sent out the text alert, we made $2,040 in 2 days. On what risk? It says it right there. I'm going to teach you folks at Top Gun Options that you have to have an SOP. It's military term, right? Standard operating procedure. I don't want to risk more than 5% of my model portfolio, which is these are $100,000 model portfolios. Why? Well, there's billionaires here, and there's stay-at-home moms with $2,000 here. So this is just a good rule of thumb. I don't want to risk more than 5% on any one trade. Why? So I can live to fight again. If something went to hell in a handbasket this week, Jeff Bezos has a press conference, had a press conference today and said he's the Antichrist, and Amazon went to zero. The most we could have lost in this bull put spread was $5,200. Okay. Now, if you're sitting there going, Wiz, what are you high? I have a smaller portfolio. I don't want to risk more than $1,000. Well, folks, these 30 contracts makes that $5,200 in risk. If you only wanted to risk $2,500, you ready for this rocket surgery? You do 15 contracts. Wiz, I don't want to risk more than $20,000 on any trade. I'm a billionaire. Well, then maybe you do 90 contracts, okay? Again, you're getting to eavesdrop on what I'm doing as a professional trader, and I can't give you investment advice or any of that stuff. That's between you and your RIA, but you just change the contract size as appropriate, right? So this was a winner chicken dinner. We have been printing money in Amazon since the fall, since I said get out of Facebook and Apple. That was when the limousine liberals started ripping each other apart, and the privacy and Russia ads. And the day Mark Zuckerberg said there was $200,000 in Russian Facebook ads, I spit my coffee out. I'm like, oh, so you're going to tell me $200,000 in Russian Facebook ads convinced 63 million people to vote for the president? You're retarded, and you shouldn't be CEO. And I'm getting out of your stock. It's gone up, folks. Don't get me wrong, but like I said, I love people that come out of the woodwork. Like, hey, how's that? I had a Facebook bear call spread that didn't work out, but I go, hey man, I told you to get out of Facebook and Apple in October. What's it done since then? Where are we? Oops. 6 months, 1 year. There you go. So there's when I said to get out of it, and here we are right now. Amazon was up? 85%? Last time I checked, 85 beats 20. by a factor of 4. So, and look at this stupidity. Whoa. I agree with Jeffrey Gunlock. I think there's still a lot of roaches in the Facebook kitchen, and it's going to be death by 1,000 cuts. The only way Facebook really gets on a rally horse into the sunset is with a new CEO. Elon Musk at Tesla, Mark Zuckerberg at Facebook, they're great entrepreneurs, folks. They come in, run up to the whiteboard, and have great ideas. They suck as CEOs. I'm telling you, folks, just because you're a good entrepreneur doesn't mean you're a good CEO. Look at Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban's smart dude, good entrepreneur. He sucks as a leader of companies. He got out of his Oracle at the right time. God bless him. But just because you're an entrepreneur doesn't make you a good skipper. All right. Let's take a look at some. All right, so I covered the week earnings. Amazon. So Amazon, guys, this is a great article in the Journal about the making of a giant. But here's how Amazon became one of Washington's most powerful players. So while Republicans don't dig Mark Zuckerberg or Tim Cook or the Twitter dude, and I said this, folks, I predicted this. If you don't remember what happened during the election, Jeff Bezos sat on a stage at a conference, and when somebody asked him about, hey, Trump running for president, what do you think? He said, I would put that dude on one of my rockets and blast him into space. Ha ha ha, all the limousine liberals laughed. And then on election night, when the president won at about 3 a.m, Jeff Bezos sent a tweet that said, congratulations, Mr. President-elect, blah, I love you. Donald Trump loves Amazon. Donald Trump is a businessman. He loves Amazon as a business and sits there going, son of a, why didn't I think of that? He does not like that dude. Okay, so it's kind of the mafia, right? It ain't personal, it's business. This is the other way around. So what's driving Trump's attacks on Amazon? It's personal. Every time we put on an Amazon trade, almost, I say this is a risk to any bullish Amazon trade, is that dude right here. But after his last kind of temper tantrum against Amazon, I think it's priced into the stock, folks. So, yeah, well, Rick, exactly. You can't go old stock market on Amazon. If you try and do the math, what's it make? Like negative $1 quadrillion? That ain't the point. So you're exactly right, man. You can't go old stock market on this. I remember a couple years ago when I'd look at the PE. The PE of Amazon a couple years ago was, they didn't have enough digits on the page here. It was like 3,000. Look at that PE, 276. So it's just incredible. Exactly, Werner. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Donald Trump can't stand. One of the reasons he can't stand Jeff Bezos is he owns the Washington Post, which on a daily basis calls the president a devil, a criminal, and thief, and collusion. That's why he's always like, why isn't this dude registered as a lobbyist? The Washington Post is nothing but fake news. So this is personal. It ain't business. But having said all that, this is a good-looking trade. Okay, look at this. So we do have Jan 20s. I have longer positions in Amazon all the way out here. But for all the new folks, here's your homework. Even if you don't take a 2-week test flight at the end of our session here in a little bit, look at the XLY, because many of you are probably looking at this going, Wiz, I can't afford a Jan 20 trade on Amazon. What are you nuts? I got to sell the wife and kids. Well, don't do that. Look at the XLY. Okay, what do you mean by that? If you don't know what the XLY holdings are, let's take a look. And you're going to love what's in the XLY. So the biggest company in the XLY is what? Amazon. So if you can't afford to do a Jan 20 trade, and I'll teach you what type of trade to do out into the future, either synthetic stock or long call diagonal. We'll do all of this in our next training sessions, folks. But look, it's also got a Netflix, a Home Depot, Disney, Comcast, Mickey D's, Bookings, Nike, Lowe's, Starbucks. Don't like the Starbucks in there, but it's only 2.3%. Okay, so no, JW, I don't get in and out of that. Yeah, I'll share this link, guys. You can just Google it. It's XLY Holdings, but here's the link if you want to see it. So this is a good proxy. We covered this, and as soon as you you sign up today to take a 2-week test flight, folks, you can watch all the recordings and my brief on the XLY and what to do instead of Amazon. We did an 1.5-hour session last week on getting in the XLY instead of Amazon because it's cheaper. Okay, so all right. So we're going to look at an Amazon trade, but I also want to take a look at, let's debrief last week. What do we do? So last week we put on a 182.5, 185 bear call spread on Win out to what? Next Friday. So the 182, 185. Let me pull Win up here. And look at this thing. Where's 182? 182, 185. This thing's got to be at max profit right now almost. Let's take a look. 182, 185. At the June 29th. What a good looking trade. We might be closing this one. 185. How many contracts did we do? 30. So let me just bring this this trade up so I can show you. Jenny, I cover that in my training. The front month upside calls, which ones to do. We will cover that in our training, or make sure you watch that lecture if you have a question on it. We're limited on time today, but yeah, it depends on how I'm feeling tactically. Jenny's saying, hey, Wiz, with when you have a Jan 20 position on and you're selling the front months, do you sell kind of the weeklies or do you sell longer dated? The answer is yes. It just depends on what's going on. So Jenny, that's a good question. We'll talk about that in the training. So, 15 cents. All right, so here's the trade. Last week we put on 30 of the June 29 182.5 calls and the 185s at 65 cents. What's this? It's at, so we're up 50 cents right now in this trade, guys. What's 50 times 30? You ready? 50 times 30. We are up $1,500 in a week in this win position. Okay, this is a great trade. So $1,500 is what, 70? Well, where's my percentage calculator? I always have this one. 1,500 is what percent of 1950? So I look to close this trade, guys. That's a 77% return in 1 week. Awesome. So I'm going to, just like the guy in the song said, go on, take the money and run. If you want to sit here and try and squeeze out another $450 by next Friday, you're stupid. Go on, take the money and run. So let's, for all the folks who aren't here right now, I would close. So this is a closing. And for my potential new members, check this out. If you can't make it to our live trade briefs, here's what's going to happen to you. If you're sitting in death by meeting today, I'm going to shoot you a text alert. So let's go to this portfolio. So analyze your trade and debrief. Update, win, close the 182 it's 182, getting my strikes missed up, 82.5, 85. Close the 182.5, 185 bear call spread at a 15-cent debit for a $1,500 / 77% gain in 1 week. Really, really good looking trade. We got 22 minutes left. I like a new win trade, but I also want to I want to talk Amazon. Analyze your trade, debrief, update, win, close, 182, 188, bear call spread. And let me just remind people, full throttle. And options weapons school training tonight at 7. So folks, if you're brand new, you should sign up today because we're actually starting our academic training tonight. We go for about hour and a half, 2 nights a week at 7 Eastern. Cool. I love doing the training, guys. I love doing it. The market's closed. We hang out at night. We talk through these tactics, and it's really, really, really fun. And you learn something every time. Rick, another way to look at closing at 77 profit is risk 5K. Well, that's a great way to look at it, Rick. Rick's saying, he's doing the go and take the money and run. He's like, hey, Wiz, another way to look at it is you're going to risk what? Because, folks, this is a bear call spread, right? right up here. Rick's saying, Wiz, another way to look at it is China comes out tomorrow and says, we're going to buy Wynn for $1 quadrillion because we don't like the guy's name. And the stock has a rip your face off rally. Do not turn a 77% winning trade into what? A 100% loser. I've been that guy, man. Back in the day, that's why I'm here. I applied my fighter pilot training to, hey man, when you hit something like that, get out. No, I'm gonna be a pig, and you get slaughtered. Do not turn a 77% winning trade into a 100% losing trade. Yep, it does, Fish. That's exactly right. All our full throttle training is recorded, and you get access to it, man. So as long as you're a member in good standing here at TGO, you get access to the full throttle training. All right. Some folks do not get our text messages because their cell phone carriers think we're spam or something, but so I send this out via email as well to people who don't get our texts. So AYT and D, analyze your trade and debrief, close, win, bear, and these go out the same time. Call spread. Okay. Stop. Here we go. So, folks, you're getting, and my cell phone just buzzed, my text alert, they go within 2 seconds, guys. So even if you can't be here because you're in death by meeting at work, you get the text alert. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm thinking about a bull put spread on Wynn, but I want to stick with, I want to get to Amazon. So, yeah, Fish, that Iron Condor is looking great with the XLE. But let's go to Amazon, guys. I want to go out with Amazon. Amazon likes round numbers, folks. The market likes round numbers. This 1700 level. Look at here's 1600, folks. It went above, it went through, it went whoop 1700. This is what happens with big stocks like this. Look at the 1500 level. It's a known fact. I mean, the computers are programmed this way. Humans think this way. We like round numbers. I think a month from now, this is maybe easily an $1,800 stock. So I almost we can let our leash out a little bit and go all the way out to the July expiration. So right now, folks, my overall, and if you're a new member here, you don't have my trade plan yet. That's what we're going to cover tonight. Step one on my trade plan is to determine your strategic mindset. You ready for this, folks? I said right here, as we kept going up, I said I'm neutral to cautiously bearish. And what did we do? We got long some VIX calls that a lot of people saw some nice profits on, and we rolled over a little bit. So step one, my strategic mindset is cautiously bearish, kind of market neutral. I think we really do have a little June gloom coming our way. Step two in my trade plan is to identify the target. The target is the stock, and that's Amazon. Step three are commit criteria. Why am I committing capital to this trade? Why am I putting any of my hard-earned coin at risk? Okay. It doesn't matter if earnings are out on the 26th. First of all, we don't know when earnings are. When it says estimated, that means the company hasn't announced it. This trade, they usually do come out towards the end here in that type of week. This trade expires when? The 20th, a full week before. So this actually, stocks tend to channel into earnings, folks. They usually don't make, the company usually doesn't make massive news announcements in front of earnings. They don't do it. And also the officers enter what is called a quiet period. They're technically not supposed to be saying anything anyway. So I like doing these kind of pre-earnings trades because it just kind of wallows around. So that's part of it. Okay, so hold on, let me clear out that text message. All right, cool. So I feel good going out a month and looking at the 1700 level. So let's take a look at this. This is the regular July expiration. When it says, if it just has a month and a year, this is called the monthly expiration. I don't know who said it's saying July 25th. It's not. The third Friday of July is what? 1, 2, 3 is the 20th. This is when this trade would expire, right there, the 20th. Okay, these are all weekly options. When you see a month, a day, and a year, these are all what are called weekly options, right? And these are regular monthly expirations. Everybody got that? Okay, so Earnings for Amazon. Did you look that up on the investor? Folks, the only place, do not ever believe your brokerage platform. The only place for you to know when Amazon earnings are is on the investor relations page. So, Ginny, if you looked on the investor relations page, great. And then it's the 25th, and I believe you. But if you haven't, you don't know when it is. So, let's go ahead and take a look at 30 days out at the 1700 level. Okay, so the tactic, so I already gave you my commit criteria. So the tactic is called I'm bullish on Amazon. I'm going to use puts, and the strikes are spread apart. So it's a bull put spread. And we're going to have to go, wow, that's a pretty good looking trade right there. Let me try 30 and see what we're looking at here. 30. Yep. I like this. Okay, so those were reversed. 15. All right, I'll cover the trade in a second here. Man, I'm just taking a look at my metrics and stuff, making sure we're good. All right, that's perfect. This is what I want to see. All right, here we go. So step 4 in my trade plan is the tactic. As I said, I'm bullish on Amazon. I'm using puts, and it's a spread. This is called a bull put spread. I will deliver to you an hour lecture on a bull put spread. We'll spend an hour in a glass of wine, 7 o'clock at night, going over this tactic in detail. Why do I not do it in here? Because the market's open and we train at night. Today, remember, we do demo do, folks. I demonstrate and you do. So in the training, we're going to learn all about bull put spreads. Yep. Underneath $1,700, it's $5 wide strikes. So I'm going to sell 15 of the July 18. I told you why I'm letting my leash out, and I told you why I picked 1,700. Why 15? Wiz, where did you come up with 15? Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to sell 15 of the regular July 1,700 puts. And as a hedge, in case Jeff Bezos does announce tomorrow he's the Antichrist and the stock goes to zero, it can go to zero, but we don't care underneath $16.95. We are long Amazon under $16.95. Okay, so and I know when you're getting started with options, it can be a little frustrating that a tactic can be called a couple things. I call it what it is, tactically. I'm bullish. I'm using puts. It's a spread. But if you look down here, folks, this is also called a credit spread. I love selling credit spreads. I love being the house, folks. The Ferrari dealer down here in Fort Lauderdale does not look like a Ferrari dealer because it's a charity and gives away money. Wynn Resorts, you walk into the Wynn in Vegas, casinos don't look the way they look because they give away money, right? So it's called a credit spread. It's called a bull put spread, and it can also be called what? A vertical spread. But ditch credit and ditch vertical. Just call it what it is. I'm bullish. I'm using puts, and it's a spread. Bull put spread. Okay. And now I'm also going to take a screenshot of this trade. Right? I'm going to take a screenshot because I send out an email after this session with the screenshots of the trade and the replay. So the first thing you get immediately whenever I'm looking at a new trade or closing one is what? The text alert, right? You get a text alert that says I'm doing something. Then I follow up after the live brief with a screenshot of this and also the replay. Okay. All right. So now, folks, if you're new to Top Gun Options, you might not be used to doing this. So even if you don't join us here in a couple minutes, please do this. When I click this snapshot analysis tab, I want everybody's eyes to go to one place and one place only, and that is max potential loss right there. Okay? Why? Folks, I have an SOP. I just told you, I don't want to risk more than $5,000 on any one trade. That's me. You could be 2.5%, you could be 10%, you could be 100%, and that would be stupid. But have it defined. Know what your risk is. If everything goes to hell in a handbasket with Amazon in the next month, the most I can lose is $5,000. Period. That's it. Well, that would suck, Wiz, but okay, I know my risk and I accept it. You are the pilot in command of your portfolio, right? Just like I was the pilot in command of my aircraft, I signed for that jet. You signed. If you're okay with this known risk, now you can look up here and look at Mr. or Mrs. Happy Face and go, all right, well, I'm risking 5 to potentially make 25. That's a 50% return on risk, man. That's pretty damn good. Okay. Yep. The risk to reward ratio is 1 to 0.5. So I like this. Let me grab it. Like I said, a screenshot of this to put in the email so you can get this. So, and then I'll send out a text alert. File, save as. And in our training, I'm going to talk to you about the different parts of our trade where we maybe adjust it if it's going against us, we maybe eject, or we hit our profit point, right? So, and then let me text this out, and then we'll come back in our final minutes, and I'm going to break down some of the Greeks and the other stuff. But remember, you don't have to, I'm not going to make your eyes glaze over with the analysis of this trade. Martin, Wiz, the 1695, 1690 is a credit of $1.57, $5 a strike. Yeah, Martin, if you want, $5 of a little cushion there, do that one. Harry, that sucks. Yeah, air conditioning. Well, trust me, man, we're in South Florida. If you don't have air conditioning, you're dead. Analyze your trade and debrief. New Amazon bull put spread. And again, folks, I'm not sending these text alerts out if you're not a paying member. Obviously, once you join, you'll get all these contracts. July 18 expiry. I'd sell the 1700 puts. That nice round number. I'd buy the 1695 puts at $1.67 credit. I'd go 7 cents wide, meaning I'd go down to $1.60 and I'd go up to $1.74. That's the range I'd look to get filled in, okay? And then I would potentially, if this trade's moving against me, adjust it. Well, so 167 times 2 equals, so maybe at about $3. If this trade's moving against me at $3, if it goes up in credit to $3, I scratch my chin and I go, what is going on with Amazon and why is it imploding? Should I adjust this trade? Remember, folks, just because I know my risk of $5,000 doesn't mean I want to lose that $5,000, right? So that's, but the other level we have in our trades is what? I just double the credit that I take in. If you double the credit that you take in, it's about 334. That's when I'd potentially eject. Okay, so and then obviously our profit target is take profit at 70, 80, or 90% of the credit that we take in. Okay, so I'm going to blast this out to our members. And then I will take, that's okay, Benoit. Thanks. Appreciate it. You guys know what that means. No, Harry, hold on a second. Let me blast out this one. No, Harry, if you're in an annual membership and you're in good standing, which I know you are, you get free. Full throttle training's free, folks. Once you pay for full throttle training, it's yours for the rest of your life, man. You can join all of these. So, yeah, absolutely. That's a great deal. Like Fish said, I charge folks who aren't TGO members are paying $495 for this training. So if I do 4 of these a year, that's $2,000. That's like an annual. You're actually paid for. Your annual training and membership is actually paid for. You bet, Mark. Glad you're filled. Okay, let me send this out to AYT and D, new Amazon bull put spread. And here's what's cool about being an options trader, folks. And if you're new to TGO and you're like, holy crap, I feel like I'm drinking from a fire hose, good. Because I'm going to train you how to do this stuff. This is why I love being an options trader. Look at this. This blue line right here, folks, is Amazon, the current stock price. I can't stand trading stocks. I don't know why. I think the last time I traded stock was when I was 22 years old as a young officer. It's stupid. We make money 3 out of 4 times on this trade. How? Well, there's Amazon. Amazon can go up. Great. Amazon can stay where it is and just wallow around and we make money. Folks, Amazon can even go down as long as it stays above what? This break even right here. If you're a stock trader and you're bullish on Amazon, you can make money three ways too. You ready? Buy, hope, and pray. That's the three ways you make money being long stock. Well, I bought it, Wiz. I'm hoping it goes up, and it didn't, so now I'm praying. It's stupid. Do not trade another stock in your life. Make money three ways: Amazon up, Amazon flat, Amazon down. Three ways, folks, in a bull put spread to make money. It's awesome. And here's how we make money every day of this. You ready? Let me scroll down. Take a look at this, and we'll cover this in your options training when you become a member. Remember, folks, whenever you sell something, you love theta. You love time decay. When that Ferrari dealer watches you pull out in your midlife crisis, that car immediately depreciates. If you pull back in the parking lot an hour later because your life partner told you your midlife crisis is over, they'll buy it back, all right, for 50 grand less. So we keep an eye down here on theta. Watch as we go forward in this trade. We make money every day that goes by on Amazon, this trade decaying. I don't like that word decay. You do when you sell something, folks. You love the word decay. When you buy something, you hate theta, right? Like those long VIX calls. As soon as you get a pop in them, get out. Because every day that goes by that you own something, it depreciates, right? Unless you're living in San Francisco housing market or down here in Miami. Okay. So this is a very, very good looking trade. I like it. Okay. So we make money three ways. We're potentially making $2,500 in a month, right? 26. So that's $2,500. Let's say we do these trades every once in a while. There's 26. That's 65 grand just in Amazon potential profits. I know Greg and some other folks that have been long Amazon. Like I said, we have one of our members here, Greg, who got in Amazon when I told him to. He has a Jan 2019 and a Jan 20 on. He's like up $160,000 in two trades. And what, one or two contracts, man? Listen to me. I don't like hearing myself speak, folks. I'm very passionate about this, man. And we have great sectors that we're targeting, right? Raytheon, for example, is going to come back. You know, peace, love, and understanding hasn't broken out in the world, folks. They're still bad actors, and Raytheon is going to come back. We have the ExxonMobil trade to look at. We have a lot of stuff on our plate here, folks. We're running out of time. I need to tell folks how to become a member here, but I wanted to put on, I like wind down here at 170, but I think we talked about that yesterday, so I think we're good to go. Okay, so all right, guys, I'll tell you what. So members, you guys are cleared off. I'll see you guys tonight at 7 where we have some other stuff to cover. If you like what you saw here, you can just take a 2-week test flight, man. I'm not going to force you to buy anything today. Thanks, HH. I appreciate it. Just scroll down. Here's the homepage. Head to go.topgunoptions.com and scroll down to kind of the ski slope here. There's a couple portfolios I manage. Beginners for kind of our accelerated retirement program. Intermediate is what it means. And the advanced, it's not like this stuff's complicated. These are the weekly options. So that Amazon trade that I put on Monday and closed Wednesday for $2 grand, that's weekly options here. Okay. So choose the one that's best for you. I think this is like $14 for 2 weeks. This is 28, and then this is 38. So for the price of a bad bottle of Pinot Grigio, you could take a test flight into one of these services, folks. So kick the tires, man. I love trading weekly options. I just showed you us. I essentially paid for an annual subscription with one Amazon trade, folks. Go to Top Gun, get FT. So let me show you our annual membership prices. I showed you that we made $2,040 in 2 days. That with one trade paid for an annual membership. Remember, folks, men lie, numbers don't. I didn't even cover the short CSX calls that made $700. How many of you were in these short CSX calls? See this right here? Last week we sold 10 of the CXX 67 calls. We brought in $710. How many of you made? There you go. So actually, I've paid for a Max Afterburner slot. Yeah, you don't have to take a test flight, folks. I'm just offering that up. If you're ready to become a member and don't want to waste the 28, 14, or 38 bucks, here is the annual subscriptions. Okay. Rick, this is so much fun, Wiz, not to mention profitable. Love being a part of the family and engaging with you. See you later today. You got it, man. David, I appreciate that. You know what? Let me show some of this. And because folks, when we have this many people in a room, we have to be in GoToWebinar. In two of our other services, we are in GoToTraining, so you guys can all see each other's chat. You guys talk together, and it's fun. So, David, thanks for your comments. HH, Rick. So there's comments from folks that are current members. Let me paste this. So if you're ready to get your annual membership, which I already paid for this week, you can go right here. But if you're a tire kicker and you want to hang out for a little bit and make sure I'm not mental, which isn't a bad thing to do, do the test flight. Okay. All right, guys, look at that. On time, on target, right at 2 o'clock. You think we do this? I do this for a living. So right through the bullseye, right at 2 o'clock. I hate keeping people late because I know you guys plan your life here. So 12K pounding Starbucks bear. Nice job, Peter. So Peter's pounding Starbucks into the dirt. Bill, if you like making money, I would join now. That's awesome. That's great. Let me show you this. Crazy profit for retirement, 63%. Isn't that awesome? Here, let me show you some of these things here. So yeah, tonight, JW, I don't have time. I don't throw out like a trade walking out the door. Maybe we'll talk about win tonight, but I'd look at a win bull put spread. So Peter's doing some good work pounding Starbucks. Nicholas, that max for a month looks okay for a spin. You're great, but I want to test it first. You bet, Nicholas. I would too. I'm just saying some people don't, why rent it when you can buy it? But Nick, take a 2-week test flight and then give us a call and grab one of these annual slots. Absolutely. So, all right, guys, I will see if you. Well, here's the problem, Nick. If you want access to the training tonight and tomorrow, you have to join and be a member now. But if you join like in a couple weeks, you'll get access to those recordings. Okay, so no biggie. Okay, you bet, Harry. I'm going to keep trying to print money, man. Like I said, I don't care where this market goes. As an options trader, we could potentially make money whether the market's moving up, down, or sideways. And if you notice, the stocks that we trade have kind of been immune to this. This is craziness, right? Amazon and some of our other ones. So, but we'll talk about, and maybe we'll talk about Raytheon tonight too, because it broke 200 with some airspeed, and I'm not worried about it, but we're going to. You should change your call sign to Bernanke. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Welcome aboard to all the potential new members. If you're taking a test flight or you want to do your, just jump in there and grab your annual, it would be great. But I'll see many of you tonight for training. Love what you do. Would like to take a test flight at a later time. Going on vacation for the next 3 weeks. Let me know when the next opportunity. David, you can take the trials are on the homepage. These are open all the time. Okay, so David, just go to our homepage whenever you come back from vacation. Make sure you have a safe vacation because we want to see you back here. But yeah, you could go on the homepage at any time and get these. The annual memberships are the ones that are a little harder to get because we only open the doors a couple times a year. Make sense? Thanks, Fish. I appreciate it. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll see many of you tonight at 7 o'clock for our first full throttle training session. Okay, I'll see you guys later.